What do you do if you have more BDSM experience and knowledge than your new dominant partner? Can this imbalance be addressed? And if so, how? Stay tuned, because by the end of today's video, you will have 6 key strategies in encouraging and motivating your nervous or shy dominant partner. So if you have a new or nervous dominant on your hands, the first step, subtypes, is to simply show them respect. And this is key because you want your dominant to feel like they are in that space, operating in that space, without necessarily having to be in a scheduled scene or whatnot. You want them to feel like, yeah, I'm naturally like this. I naturally have authority and power and all of these things. So respect them, show them respect, and do so in a few main areas. The first one being attention. Give your dominant your full and undivided attention. So this means pausing music or the TV or putting your phone down, etc. Essentially, listen with your face, okay? Respect them enough to give them your full attention. You're also going to respect them in their privacy, okay? Don't assume your dominant's attention or interrupt their activities. So you might knock or ask permission to enter, things like that, where you're not expecting them to stop and drop what they're doing to cater to you. That is a big cue for them. Will make them feel really good and dominant. And finally, respect them in terms of honorifics. Address your dominant in the manner they prefer. So I would advise you to do the yes ma'am or no ma'am, obviously, when they're asking you a yes or no question. But beyond that, what honorifics do they like? What forms of address do they like? If you consider yourself a slave with a newbie dominant and they feel uncomfortable with the term master right now, then don't do that. That's your act of submission, is to withhold that, default to what they prefer. And maybe right now it's sir, maybe right now it's ma'am, maybe right now it's mistress. Maybe those are terms that they feel more confident and comfortable with right now. So default to the address they currently prefer. Next, subtypes, you are going to express your interests and desires. Now, in my video, 3 Dominance Killers, I talked about the fact that a lack of knowledge or ignorance is a confidence killer and therefore a dominance killer. So when you are discussing, when you're sharing subtypes, your desires and interests, what you're doing is you are giving your newbie dominant, your nervous dominant, an arsenal of information. And information to a dominant is power. To anyone, really, but especially to a dominant. Information, it's tools to work with. And so that's what you're doing. The more you tell your dominant, here are the things that I like, here are the things that I don't like, here are the things that I'm curious about, here are the names that I like to be called, here are the names that I really don't like to be called, here are the things that I've done before, here's my safe word, here are my limits, all of these things. You are giving your dominant lots of information where they can go, okay, I know exactly where these boundaries are. And I've actually created a worksheet just for you. If you find yourself in this position, I have created a scene building guide for you, newbie doms, to give to your submissives to help you get the information you need to build a scene. And you can access that on Patreon at the $8 tier and up. But for you subtypes, that's the importance of expressing your desires and interests. It's not topping from the bottom, especially if you discuss these things out of a scene, okay? And you just tell your dominant, hey, this is me, into me you see, right? Intimacy is into me you see. So just express your interests and desires. It will give them confidence because they know, okay, this is what they like, here are the tools, here are the boundaries, and I can start playing. Answer, don't advise. Now, subtypes, if you have more knowledge and experience than your newbie dominant, it can be very tempting to jump in with, oh, well, what about this? Did you think about this? You know what I mean? You know what they don't know, and it can be very tempting to jump in and offer advice. That will kill their confidence, especially if you do it a lot, if you do it incessantly, where they now feel critiqued by you. They're submissive, right? So don't do that. Don't offer advice. But what you can do is you can answer questions. So I would encourage you subtypes to encourage your dominant to do research and to learn and to join my community and get around some people who are in the lifestyle, ask some questions, whatever, and start learning. And when they do, they may have questions. Make yourself available to them if they have questions, but don't constantly look for opportunities to give them advice. That will kill their confidence. And if their confidence gets shattered, gets kind of cut down a little bit, they are certainly not going to want to express their dominant energy with you because they feel like I'm failing. It might be a little embarrassing for them. So keep that in mind. Do not give advice, but you can answer questions. Soften your energy. Now, this one I am speaking most definitely from experience here because I am me, and I am paired with a soft dom, a wonderful, amazing soft dom. Now, the thing is, this especially applies to situations like mine, where you are a dominant switch, you are an alpha sub, you're a bratty sub, you are a soft dom, a caregiver, daddy dom, mommy dom, etc. Okay? If you have more of a feisty subtype and a more of a docile, sweet dom type, this one's for you. Subtypes, soften your energy. What your soft dom, especially if you have a soft dom or daddy dom, caregiver, mommy dom, all that kind of stuff, they have the philosophy that they can yell, but they shouldn't have to. They can be aggressive, but they shouldn't have to. So they're not going to view stepping into their dominant role as a topping and pushing down thing. They're going to be here. And they're going to wait. If you're up here, sometimes they're just going to wait for you to soften beneath them, okay? And that's where you subtypes have a lot of power here, really, is by you softening under the energy of your dominant. So if they're a soft dominant, you're going to have to get real soft, okay? If you do that in subtypes, wherever your dominant is on the scale, it will foster their sense of confidence, authority, and dominant expression. If you start being sweet, softening your voice, looking at them sweetly, smiling, batting your eyelashes, whatever, you do you. But if you start softening and sweetening, it's only going to make them feel like, oh, boosted. So that's a great strategy for you subtypes to use. But for those of you dominant switches or alpha subs or bratty subs, especially you ladies who are stressed, overwhelmed, have a hard time softening, getting sweet. You may have been burned in the past, whatever. I have a video just for you, and it's called 7 Ways to Activate Your Inner Goddess. And this video will give you practical techniques to help you soften and sweeten that energy and step into more of a beautiful feminine space, whether you find yourself on the top side or bottom side. Express your arousal. This is important because this is about, again, building your newbie dominance confidence. I want you to walk away with this point. Confidence equals expression. So when you're expressing your arousal to your dominant, that's going to boost their confidence in a big way when they know that they can not only effectively dominate you, but it arouses you, it sends you into the depths of bliss and subspace. Yes, anytime they do something arousing, share your arousal with them in whatever way you feel confident and comfortable doing. If that means moving their hands to certain locations of your body, if that means telling them, I'm very aroused by that. I was very aroused by that last night, whenever you did that, whatever. Express your arousal to them. That will boost their confidence in a big way. And similar to this is praising their dominance. So they kind of go hand in hand, expressing your arousal and praising their dominance. But when you praise their dominance, it's more focused. It's your authority, when you spoke to me that way, when you led that scene, when you chose to do things that way, when you withheld this from me, whatever triggers that, ooh, yes, daddy, yes, mommy, yes, master, yes, mistress, response inside of you. Tell them that was Very nice. And I really, really like that. So it will again boost their confidence, because lack of confidence is one of the 3 biggest dominance killers. If you're insecure, you're not going to have the confidence to execute a scene, to start, to initiate, to execute a scene. So not only express your arousal subtypes, but praise their dominance. And finally, subtypes, if you do have to provide feedback, which is absolutely natural, normal, and inevitable, I would advise you to do it in the Oreo method. So offer Oreo feedback. And that means praise, criticism, praise, like an Oreo cookie, where we have the praise on the cookie on the top and the bottom, and then we have the creamy criticism on the inside, all right? And I say give Oreo feedback because this is a very effective strategy to disarm someone when you have to confront an issue. And not that you're confronting an issue, but if your dominant is shy, insecure, nervous, they might be prone to get on the defensive. They might be quick to be defensive and kind of feel backed into a corner and shut down. So this will hopefully help them not do that. Where you started out with going, you know what, the other night when you took us through that scene, oh my gosh, I was blissed out, so much so that the next day I was still totally out of it. I loved it. You are so good. And it was so amazing. But when we were done with the scene, I kind of felt disconnected from you. And I think I would like to spend more time in aftercare next time, because I absolutely love our playtime together. I love how you can seduce me and arouse me and lead me through this scene. And I would just really like to stay connected with you in that way because I love you so much. Did you pick up on what I did? We had our praise, okay? And then we had our little criticism, and then we had our praise. So if you can communicate like that, you can effectively provide feedback in a way that's very disarming, and your dominant will register, okay, I may need to adjust that, but they won't get on the defensive about it, because we don't want that. Just like we said earlier in the video, we want to answer questions. We don't want to offer advice for this very reason. So if you found this video helpful, hit like and subscribe if you haven't already, and make sure those notifications are turned on so you never miss a post. And be sure to comment below with any questions you would like me to answer in an upcoming video.